Okay, so hello everyone, thank you for attending. My name is Thibaut Frete, and today we'll be giving you a brief demonstration of the new features in Advanced Design 2014. But to start with, I'm gonna give you a quick background on the software itself. So Advanced Design is a finite element software, and even though it provides advanced tools for modeling, it remains easy to use. It comes with a competitive meshing and calculation engine, which is a 64-bit and multi-core application. It features international codes, so Eurocodes for steel, concrete, and timber design, with national appendices for France, Germany, Italy, UK, and so on. It also features American codes and Canadian codes. As for result processing, which includes reports and graphical views, it can be completely automated and updated whenever you make a change on the model. And eventually, Advanced Design is part of the Advanced Suite, which is a BIM solution for building information modeling, which includes Advanced Steel for steel detailing and connection design, and Advanced Concrete for concrete detailing, reinforcement drawings, and bar schedule. So Advanced Design is a widely spread solution. We have more than 2,000 users in Europe, in the US, and in Canada. Of course, the software is available in the appropriate language. And Graitec has a huge experience in finite element software. It started 20 years ago with FL Structure, which evolved now in Advanced Design. And now I'd like to show you some exceptional projects from our customers. So we have this one from Morocco, then there is this hospital in France, there is this stadium. Here we have a quite unusual project, and this huge office building in Romania, and this one is from Romania too. Okay, so for version 2014 we had two main goals in mind. First one being improving beam exchange, and the other one introducing new design features. So in order to improve beam exchange, we introduced a set of new icons in the CAD toolbar. First icon is check control. So basically this check control function will point out potential connection issues on the model. See, a 3D model might look okay, but when you have a closer look, you realize that the elements are not connected. And this for sure will lead to calculation issues. So this function will tell you, with the red circles and messages in the command line, where you should pay attention before you can even launch a calculation sequence. So second icon is the auto trim and extend function. So this function will automatically trim or extend elements, and it will ensure they are perfectly connected. See, sometimes elements can be a little bit too long or too short, and basically this function will fix that in one click on a multiple selection. Third icon is projection on plane. So this function will ensure that the elements belong in the same plane, because if they don't, you cannot automatically trim or extend them. It's often the problem we have with bracings. See, they look connected, but they're actually given a very small offset. So with this function, you are sure that all the elements will belong in the same plane. Now the fourth icon is stretch to node function. So this is a powerful tool which will stretch element extremities and make sure they're connected to the closer node. Actually, it's using a new magnetism property on node. And then we have the offset cancel, which will simply turn an offset defined in advanced steel into the appropriate advanced design property. Alright, so now I will show you all this on a on an example. So let's take this building, which is coming from Advanced Steel. It looks pretty much okay, but if you switch to the axis rendering, you see it doesn't look so good. So here we have the new check control function, and if I run it with a 20 centimeters tolerance, see, I get red circles almost everywhere. So in such case, I would advise you to work on a building side. See, and once you fix the mistakes in there, you can move on to another part of the building. See, so we'll obviously have to trim or extend some elements here, but before we do that, we should make sure that they all belong in the same plane, because actually they don't. So the first step will be using the projection on plane function. So it's pretty simple. You just select a set of elements and then you define a plane by 2 clicks. Alright, so now they actually belong in the same plane. And they are ready to be trimmed or extended. So let's just select them, use the auto trim and extend function, and you see connection is pretty much okay. Or maybe I missed this one. Maybe I didn't select these elements. Okay, they're fine now. And if we run the new check control function again, see, we still have some issues. So we could definitely select an element, see, and manually stretch them, but I think we'd better use the stretch to node function there, because we could connect this element there, this one here, this one on top. So let's just create some points. See, we activate their magnetism property, and we put some nodes where we need them. Of course, I can select the points and just copy them. And now I will use the stretch to node function. Yeah, it looks perfect. And what if we run the new check control again? Yeah, we fixed all the mistakes on this building side, so I no longer need the node. Can remove them. And now we should just move on to another building side and repeat these steps. But I think you got the idea, so let's go back to our PowerPoint and I will show you the new design features. So the main one is a 2D climatic generator. So in Advanced Design 2014 we introduced a brand new 2D climatic generator which enables you to generate snow forces on a 2D structure, just like this. And you can also generate wind forces on a 2D structure, like this. So let me show you on another example. So here I have a 2D structure. And first thing is to make sure that you're set on a 2D work plane, because this gives you access to some new linear element properties. here called 2D climatic, and then you can define load span in front of the building and load span behind. You can also set a continuity coefficient, can be 1, 125, 133, in case purlins are not simply supported. And you can also select an element and define it as a parapet wall. And then I will define a wind family. And because I'm set on a 2D work plane, I'm given access to a field for building length. So we're talking about out of plane length. You also have to set the structure position. It's really important for wind loads, and of course position cannot exceed the building itself. Here you can set pressure coefficients, and you can also define one building side as completely open. And the other parameters, you already know them because they existed in the 3D generator. You can set the wind region and other parameters like terrain category. The CISSE coefficient is still available, and basically you just need to use the automatic generation and you get your wind forces. See, you get pretty much everything you expected, because you get the edge effect, you get the wind on parapet loads, and now we can move on to snow forces. So it's similar, you just need to enter a snow region and altitude, and you get your snow forces. So you get snow forces as well as accumulation. We have one accumulation there, you have smaller ones here, and you also get the accumulation from the parapet wall. And of course you get a report about that. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. And another new design feature is the ability to import and export support actions. See, now you have the ability to select support from a calculated model and use these forces as an input in a different model. So you just need to select the supports from a calculated model, you export them, and this will create a text file which will feature load position, load intensity, and the containing load cases. So let me show you on we can take this example because we have plenty of load cases. I will just run a calculation and okay. After calculation I can just check forces and support. Yeah, so I do get results for each load cases, and if I want to use this as an input in a different model, I will just select the supports, I export support actions, see, this way I get a text file. So in this text file you get all the information needed, and I can definitely import that on a different model. Let's pick this one for example. If I want to input these forces on top of the building, I will just use the import action and support function. I will get my text file and reference point on top. See? And the actions were imported. And not only were they imported, but the appropriate load cases were created in the current model. Alright. So another new design feature is the automatic calculation of support stiffness. See, when you define an elastic support, could be a punctual one and a linear one or planar one, you can define soil layers and you no longer require to enter a vertical stiffness. So you just pick a soil type, just pick it from a customizable library. In case you have a support with very complex shape, it will be turned into an equivalent rectangle, and then your vertical stiffness will be automatically calculated. So I'll show you that. Let's pick this example again. So if I define an elastic support, so a planar elastic support, you can see that vertical stiffness can be set as unimposed, or I can set it on automatic calculation. And then I will just be expected to define solid layers. So the first layer would be, let's pick this one, just input a thickness, then a second layer with 5 meter thickness, and last one. And as soon as I press OK, the vertical stiffness is automatically calculated. So you no longer need to input a kind of random value. It's all calculated now. So another new design feature is, some big improvements on reinforcement for concrete columns. See, previously, now we have a brand new dialog for column reinforcement. This is the previous one. We didn't have so many options there. Just could just define the main diameter, and that's it. And this is a new dialog, so we have much more options. For longitudinal bar, you can define diameter, you can define hook type, you can define a number on each side. And for transversal reinforcement, which we couldn't do before, now you can define spacing, diameter. So let me show you that on this example. See, if I pick a concrete column, in the reinforcement section, here I can define diameters, can define hook type. I can put extra bars or remove some. Can switch to transverse reinforcement, set spacing and diameters. Alright, and new design feature is some big improvements on the joint design side. First of all, we implemented a collision check. See, now ADSC, Advanced Design Steel Connection, is able to point out the potential issues on the connection. See, if some bolts are a little bit too close to element flange, these kind of things, would be able to point out to the connection, to the issue location. And we also implemented the ability to modify drawing from ADSC with only AutoCAD. So I'll show you that. So if I pick this connection, so it was calculated, but I have some obvious mistakes. And if I run a collision check there, see, I do have a pretty big list. And if I select one line, one collision kind, and I ask for the collision location, it's pointing to this bolt, which is definitely too close to the beam flange. Okay. And then we have the post-processing grid. Yeah, we implemented a post-processing grid so that results can now be displayed on a grid which is completely independent from mesh size. See, previously you would usually ask for a very small mesh size for accurate results, but the problem is when displaying results you would get plenty of values. Actually, you would get one value per mesh. And now with the post-processing grid, you can ask for a large grid size and you will still benefit from the results of a small mesh size. So to summarize, the key features of Advanced Design 2014 are improvement on beam exchange, and the implementation of a 2D climatic generator, and the ability to import-export support actions, the automatic calculation of vertical stiffness, huge improvement on column reinforcement, big improvements on joint design side, and the implementation of a post-processing grid. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. If you have any additional question, you can visit our website, and I will see you soon for another webinar. Bye.